Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am out in the Florida Keys going to attempt some astrophotography with this tree here. I really love the roots. Lots of detail there. It's low tide right now, but the tide is coming in, and the Milky Way core is supposed to be coming up around 9. Right now it's 7, so I think we'll still have a bit of this coral texture in the foreground, and well as having those roots exposed, I think that'll look real good. Since I still have a bit of time before the Milky Way comes up, I figured I would give a quick little lesson on how to shoot manual very easily. Most people are intimidated by it, but it's really easy. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate now. All right, so as you can see, I have my composition set up and I have my monitor recording so you can see everything I'm doing real time. You can see how I'm adjusting my shutter speed, my aperture, and my ISO. So these tips I'm going to share really works for any kind of photography, whether it's portraits or landscapes. It even works on any camera. It's always, all cameras work on shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. So for landscape photography, you really want to keep your aperture in between f8 and f11 because I feel that's like the sweet spot for the most sharpness. Most people talk about f16, f22 will give you the most depth, which is true, but because of diffraction, your image becomes soft. So that's why we're gonna stick with f11 today. I'm also gonna leave the ISO the same at 100. So the only thing I'm gonna change is the shutter speed. So right now it's pretty underexposed. So what I'm gonna do is decrease the shutter speed. So right now I'm at 1/500th of a second. So as you can see, as I go down to a slower shutter speed, the image gets brighter. I just wanna bring up the histogram here so you can see. Don't really trust the back of your LCD for exposure. You want to go by the histogram. If you haven't seen my tutorial on histograms, go ahead and check it out. I'll link it below. So right now you can see I have a pretty good exposure. I'm not clipping any blacks, which is represented by the left side, and I'm not clipping any whites, which is represented by the right side. I can actually bring up my exposure a little bit more. See how it keeps moving? I'm a big fan of ETTR, which is exposing to the right, which gives you a cleaner image in the end, and all I have to do is darken it in post-production. So I think I'm happy with it there. So I'm just gonna take the shot. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's check the sharpness. Okay, that tree is very sharp, and horizon is sharp, the foreground is sharp. This all looks really good to me. So as you can see, that was pretty simple. All I did was adjust my shutter speed. Now, as it gets darker, you're gonna wanna keep lowering it. Right now, it's obviously overexposed because it's still lots of light out. So in that instance, I'm gonna bring it up. And I'm just gonna pay attention to my histogram. And it is that easy shooting manual. Okay, so since I still have a little bit of time, I figured I'd add in a little bonus and talk about long exposures. I'm gonna be using an ND filter. This is a 10-stop neutral density filter that I will attach to a filter holder, which then goes in front of my lens. Okay, so we're back behind the LCD, and now I'm gonna attach the ND filter right in front of the lens, and you can see it goes totally dark. So what do? Yep, just lower the shutter speed because we want to keep that aperture so we get sharpness from the front to the back. ISO 100 gives us a nice clean image. So let's see what happens as we lower the shutter. You can see it slowly going down, nothing yet. Nothing showing up. You can start to see it showing up at 2.5 seconds. That's a 10-second exposure. Looks like we're probably gonna have to go to 30. Yeah, and according to my histogram, that gives us a really balanced exposure. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the shot. We're gonna wait 30 seconds. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that's a pretty good exposure. Nice and sharp in the front. Tree is nice and sharp. We have nice smoothed out water, and the horizon is very sharp. So you see the principles of shooting manual go with everything. You can do long exposures. It's just that easy. Just adjust your shutter speed when you're doing landscape photography.
Unfortunately, the clear skies turned cloudy right around 9 p.m., so I wasn't able to capture any Milky Way shots. I did go back the next morning to capture a few more images, some long exposures that I'll put on the screen now. I hope you all enjoy them, and I'll see you in the next video. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel.